So in this journey that you've taken, what are some examples of how mudra changed your experience, affected your decisions?
Right. Well, it's all about understanding the context that I'm in, that I'm in a different place than anyone else, as everyone is. And then in seeing that context is a way of saying, in understanding my situation in a context of vast space, you begin to see, oh, there's certain possibilities available to me that may not be available to anyone else. Well, a couple decades ago, I was living in Seattle on Lake Union in one of these little houseboats, the kind that you might have seen in Sleepless in Seattle. And I was running a magazine about philanthropy. And I got called by people around Bill Gates. And I had already taken a critical view of Bill Gates because he was only doing, following his mother's instructions to give to United Way of America. He was a geek who hadn't really thought about philanthropy, but he was being pressured. Microsoft was being broken up or threatened to be broken up by the Department of Justice for being a monopoly. And so I got a call from Microsoft, and they asked me to come in and interact with Bill Gates to see what he might do with philanthropy. And I'm kind of like a nobody sitting there like a journalist. How could I possibly rise to that occasion? But somehow it was a moment that I just grabbed. It was a gesture that I had, and I ended up working for Microsoft for a year and a half that set up the world's largest corporate philanthropy program that still exists, and that led to the creation of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is the largest foundation that exists. I think there's a lot wrong with it. I am now considering interacting with the parents of Jeff Bezos, Jackie and Mike Bezos, who now have the challenge and the burden of creating philanthropy for the richest person in the world. And they haven't exactly invited me to shape the philanthropy of their $100 billion son. But because of Mudra, I have, I guess, the chutzpah or the confidence to say, that's something I could do. And I could do it in a way that would work for Bezos' family, work for Amazon, but could also work for the larger context of how to restore balance in a very out of balance global economy that we have, that is out of balance because of what Amazon is doing. So this is what I call transmuting technological materialism. How you could take a force, say in the business world, that is driven by greed and materialism, and somehow use these mudra principles to transmute it, to turn it upside down, so that the real intention, the underlying intention of what Bezos might be doing would be revealed in an amazing expression of philanthropy like the world has never known. So there's a boldness that I have. Maybe it comes from being an American, of having had the benefit of being in Seattle at a time when Seattle has become in some ways the most positive expression of modern life and the fruition of capitalism. It makes me feel like, well, I could step on that, I could lean into that And I could see, well, by leaning in, how could I make materialism move in a different way so that it restores balance and benefit to humanity? I'm not rich, I'm not famous, I'm not in any way influential, but somehow because of mudra, I have this kind of thinking is not too big for me. Mudra connects us to the vastness of infinite space so that we carry a sense of vastness with us every moment. So when a particular moment arises, you can see the implications of that within this vast context. Well, hello, we're at the last minute of the last moment. You know, like Leo DiCaprio said in his movie, we're way out of balance in terms of the global context. What can we do to turn that around? So that becomes a question that arises in the doing of mudra. What can we do to turn things around big time?